See here, this step, this example we have taken for the ANOVA, that we are having a three different groups, group A, B, and C. We have justified our hypothesis in step one, that H naught says that all the three groups are uh, different, and there is at least one difference in the group A, B, and C in that is said by the alternative hypothesis. So before we'll proceed with the calculation part, we have to calculate the degree of freedom, and these are the formulas for degree of freedom. We have to calculate all the things for between, within, and the total. So k minus 1 is the formula for degree of freedom between, n minus k is the formula for degree of freedom within, and if you have the value of between and within, you can calculate the value of df total. So here I have calculated. So whatever we have got with the degree of freedom, that can be used for the numerator and the denominator in the f table. So by using the numerator and denominator, we have calculated by seeing the table that test value we have got, that is 5.41. This we are going to compare with the value which we are going to calculate through the calculation of ANOVA. In step 4, we have calculated sum of squared deviation. The formula is x bar is equal to sum of xi divided by n. So xi is representing to the individual observation. For example, in group A, I have a first observation 3. So 3 I'm going to use. Then after I have used 3, I will use 1, and after that I will use this 2 to add in this formula instead of this I. So by using this formula, uh, we can calculate the grand mean. If we have calculated grand mean, we have to calculate the sum of squared deviation, which is the step 4. So sum of squared deviation can be calculated by using this formula, that is ss representing to sum of squared total. First of all, we have to calculate. After that, we have to calculate within, and if we have the value of total and within, we can get the value of the between. So this formula will be applied. For example, if we have a 9 observation, so 9 times we have to run this steps. So with the calculation, I have already calculated ss total, which was found to be 12.22. SS within was found to be 8.66, and SS between, by using this formula, SS between is equal to SS total minus SS within, that was found to be 3.55. So uh, I have got the query, especially for the step 5. So this I'll explain in a broader way. In step 5, what we have to do, we have to calculate the variance between the variance within. That means two variance we have to calculate. One is for between, and one is for the within. And ms represents here mean squared. So mean squared between and mean square within we have to calculate. So in the previous step already we have calculated ss between and degree of freedom between. So by using these two, we can calculate the ms between. Already in the previous step, you can see that ss between I have calculated, and that was found to be 3.55. So this 3.55 I'm going to take, and degree of freedom which we have calculated here, that is 2, 6, and 8, this we are going to use. So 3.55 divided by 2, 2 is the degree of freedom between, and we have got 1.77. This will be called as mean squared between. Clear? So mean squared between we have found 1.77. Like in the same way, instead of between, we have to take the within. So whenever you are calculating between, you have to take the value of ss between, and whenever you are calculating mean squared within, you have to take the value of sum of squared within and degree of freedom within. So already we have calculated these value 8.67 and the 6. So I will divide 8.67 divided by 6. We have got 1.44, and here we have got the ms within, that is 1.44. So after calculating ms between and ms within, we can apply the directly formula of ANOVA, that is MST divided by MSB, that is treatment and the error. So which I have shown you in the starting. I'll show the formula again to you. This is the formula, and this we are going to use. So instead of T, we have used an between, and instead of E, we have used the within. So you don't have to get confused here. You can use the treatment and error, or instead of treatment and error, you can take the between and within. Why I have taken the example of between and within? Because in most of the books you will find that MSB and MSW is the example taken by most of the author and easy to remember. So by using this formula, we have got this value. So 1.77 divided by 1.44 equivalent to 1.23. So this will be taken as a value of f, and this value we are going to compare with the value which we have taken from the f table. So what does the rule says? If calculated f value is less than the critical value, or tabulated f value, we reject the null hypothesis, and the result of the test is not significant because we have got the p value more than 0.05 in this test. So by using this test, we can compare three different means. So this is the table that how we have used. On the top we have a numerator, and right hand side we have a denominator. Or you can see on the top we have a numerator, and right hand side we have a denominator. And we know degree of freedom, which we got to. For numerator, I'm going to use this column for 2, and denominator was 6, so I'm going to use this row. But study is having confidence interval 95%, so I'm going to use 0.05 as a cutoff point. So in front of cutoff point we have got 5.14. So this value will be taken as a standard value, by which mean we are going to compare our value. Clear? So you can use this table, and you can download the f distribution table from the internet. It will be easily available. See, I have shown just uh, degree of freedom value having up to 9, but whenever you are going to search in the internet, you are going to get a big table where you will have a value up to 30, 40, and 50 for the numerator and for the denominator also. So this f distribution table is having more than 7 to 8 pages. So if we want to do by SPSS, how to do it? How to do it? Uh, we used to recommend BMI action level for Asian WHO 2003. This is the guideline by which mean you can convert the BMI into three different categories. Like yesterday, I was converting the data uh, by uh, numerical data into a categorical data. So what we have to do, that data which we have entered in the SPSS software in the form of numbers, that we are going to convert in the form of category. So you have to make the categories of the BMI. So which rule we have to take? For example, any persons who is having BMI, for example, 18 or 19 to 23, that will be taken as a group 1. So we are going to call these group as a normal group. And second group we have, where the BMI starting range from 23 to 27.55. This will be taken as a group 2, and we are going to call this group as a overweight. And the third group we used to call obese, which is having the BMI 27.5 kg meter square and above. So above, till how much you can go, it's up to you. That you can see that what was the maximum BMI you have got in your project, and that value you can take for the above. So how the data will be converted into a numerical data into a categorical data? By a process called visual binding. And in SPSS it can be done by using a command called transform a numerical data into a categorical data. So transform is the command by which mean you are going to convert the numerical data into a categorical data. This is the step. You can take the screenshot that how a visual binding process will be done in the SPSS. First of all, you have to click on the transform, then click on the visual binding. Then you can move the variable BMI into a variable to bin box, click continue. After that, what you have to do, you have to give a name to a new variable which will contain the data of BMI which are available in the form of category. So already you have chosen a name BMI, so this time you cannot take the name BMI, so you can keep the name BMI stat or BMI category. So you have to give the labels as I told you yesterday, and you have to follow all these steps. You can take the screenshot of this one, and whenever I am going to send the presentation to you, you can follow the steps I just show in the presentation, that how to do it. The visual binding process, first of all, go to transform. If you click on transform, there is a process or a step called visual binding. Yesterday I have done with the option called record into same variable. So what was the difference between visual binding and record into same variable? uh, Whenever you are going to do it by option called record into same variable, you are going to lose the previous data where you have entered the BMI in the original number. But through visual binding, the old data will remain like this only, and software is going to make another one more column which will contain the BMI in the form of the category. So visual binding, you have to click. If you click on the visual binding, you are going to get a this window. So this side you can find that all the variables which you have made for your study, and here you are going to get all the numerical variables. See, you can see that all the icons here is representing to scale. That means these all are the numerical variable which I have taken for our study. So from here I have already shifted the BMI to the bin box variable to bin box. Here we have a BMI. Then click continue. If you click continue, you are going to get a this visual binding box. So it is showing that what was the name of old variable. So name of the old variable is small letter BMI, and I'm going to keep the name of new variable as a BMI bind. Clear? So this you don't have to see whatever the picture they are going to uh, show you. Now what to do? You have to give a codes to values. For example, what was the minimum value and what was the maximum value, and by entering the code you can get the data in the form of category. Like as per WHO rule, I have taken a 3 different category, and I have chosen the ranges also. So those ranges you have to fill here. uh, so how to do it? Click transform, click on visual binding, move BMI to variable bin box, click continue, and type a name for a new variable. So new variable name, I have kept a BMI stat. So BMI stat will be the new variable. So you can see in this slide, uh, name of the new variable is BMI stat, and here I have entered the data. That means less than 23, second will be up to 23 to 27, and more than 27 will be called third group. So normal, overweight, and the obese, and you have to click on the exclude. That means any data which is less than the minimum number and more than the minimum number will be excluded from the study. So after doing this thing, just click on OK. So software is going to make a new variable for you. See here, this is the data variable view of the sheet, and this is the old variable where the data was given in the form of number, and you can see here the icon is scale, and this is the newly created variable which contain BMI stat, which is made by the software only. And here you can see the data is given in the form of category 1, 2, and 3. One is normal, overweight, and the obese, and this data is given in the form of ordinal, or you can keep the nominal. The software is not going to change. So if software has given ordinal, you can change into a nominal, because we have a category under this particular set. So after visual binding, you are ready for the analysis for one-way ANOVA, and how the one-way ANOVA will be performed by using SPSS. These are the commands. For example, first of all, you have to click on analyze, then click on compare mean, click on one-way ANOVA, If you click on one-way ANOVA, you are going to get a main window of one-way ANOVA. Here you have to move the glucose, which is an independent variable, into a dependent list, and move the BMI as a factor. So factor here is the independent variable in the one-way ANOVA. So BMI we are taking as an independent variable, and what was the aim of this test? The aim of this test is to see the effect of BMI on the blood glucose level. That if the person BMI is increasing, either the level of blood glucose is also increasing or not. Clear? So whenever you will move the variable into a dependent list box and the factor list box, you have to choose few options. As I told you that software is giving multiple options to you. So click on the descriptive and the homogeneity of variance test, because we want to check that our data is homogeneous or not, or either we are eligible for ANOVA or not. Clear? And if we are eligible, we will apply the test, otherwise we will stop here only. And also click on the post hoc. So post hoc test will be also applied under the ANOVA only, which is going to give you the comparison of A with B, B with C, and C with A. That means it will going to tell you that which group is better as compared to other group, or how much is the difference between uh, A, B, and C. So if you choose all these options and you follow all the nine steps, you can proceed with ANOVA. I'll let you know that how to do it through the SPSS. First of all, what you have to do to run the ANOVA, click on Analyze. If you click on Analyze, you are going to get a main window. There, compare mean is the command for the ANOVA, where you are going to get a all the parametric test: one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired sample, which we are going to do after ANOVA, and one-way ANOVA. So one-way ANOVA we are going to run. So click on one-way ANOVA. If you click on one-way ANOVA, these are the steps. We are going to get a main window of ANOVA. This is the main window of one-way ANOVA. It is written one-way ANOVA, and left hand side we will get all the variable which we have made for our study. And as I have shown you in the previous slides, you have to move the variable into dependent list box and the factor list box. So we know that the dependent variable in our study is numerical variable, which is a glucose, and factor with which we are taking is the BMI, which is having a three different categories which we have made, and this is a categorical variable, and in our study this is a independent variable. So once you have moved these variable into dependent list box and factor list box, you have to click into a option called option only. So when you click on the option, you are going to get this window. In this window, what you have to do, click on descriptive and click on the homogeneity of variance test. This first option, descriptive, will give you the descriptive statistics of the test, that is the mean, standard deviation, and standard error, as well as the test for homogeneity of variance will give you the idea that either you are eligible for your test or not, or your data is homogeneous or not. Clear? So if you want to get the plot, you can click on the mean plot also. So you are going to get a graph of BMI versus blood glucose level. So by choosing these options, click continue, and just check the confidence interval of the study by clicking the post hoc also. So whenever you click on the post hoc, click on 2K and just check that you have to click on the 2K by going into option called post hoc. Post hoc option will be given. So when you click on post hoc, just click on 2K. That this is a scientist who has made this test for the SPSS. That according to his rule, we are going to proceed, and just check that confidence interval of the study is 0.05 or not. If you want to change as per your hypothesis, you can change and click continue. So what we did, we have clicked on 2K and we have checked the confidence interval of the study in the post hoc multiple comparison table. Click continue. So you are going to get a results for ANOVA. So results of ANOVA, what it is going to give you? It is going to give you 3 to 4 tables and one graph. How it will be written for your thesis and for the research paper. We are not going to take all the values. From the first table, we are going to take only these 3 values, which I am going to show you. It is going to give the, on the top, that dependent variable is glucose, and we have made 3 groups. So first group is normal, second is overweight, and third one is obese. And it is going to give you an idea that how many patient or how many person was enrolled in each group out of total number of samples. So total number of sample in this study I have taken, that is your 150, and normal we found 17, overweight was 95, and obese was 38. And this is the mean glucose level which we are going to compare with each other, and we got the standard deviation. So mean and standard deviation will be written in the research paper. Clear? So only 3 things we are going to take up to here: n, mean, and the standard deviation. So first table will give you the descriptive statistics of the ANOVA, and second table will be the multiple comparison table. In multiple comparison table, it will be called as post hoc test. That means post hoc test represents what? It is going to represent you that which of the variable is directly proportional to the your dependent variable. That means which variable is having a direct effect on the glucose, either the normal, either the overweight, and either the obese. And it is going to compare normal with overweight, normal with obese. That means all the 3 groups will be compared with each other. And how you can find out that which test is which of the group was found significant. And if, for example, instead of these 3 groups, if you have taken a 3 drugs, so out of 3 drugs, which drug is better as compared to other 2? So this you can find out after seeing the 2 value. One is your mean difference. So this mean difference you have to see that how much is the difference between within A and B. For example, the difference between normal and overweight is minus 0.07, and difference of mean difference of normal and obese is minus 1.02. Clear? So like this you can code this mean difference in the statistics, and you are going to see the significant value of the post hoc test. So whatever the value which is less than 0.05, this value which is less than 0.05, it is going to represent that that particular group is the significant and better than the other one. So lower the value, lower the p value of the group is better as compared to other one. For example, in obese group I have got 0.000, and in another group, this one I got 0.017. So both these value, for example, value number second and last 3 values are found significant, and you can say that obese is showing more effect on blood glucose level as compared to overweight and the normal. Clear? So obese group is showing both the significant results. You can see here we got value 1.17 and 1.001. Clear? So an obese group, we can find out if the person is obese, the person population is having the higher the value of the blood glucose level. But which is on the second and which is on the third? Second will be the normal, because the, sorry, overweight, because the value of overweight is less as compared to the normal. So second, overweight is having less effect as compared to obese, and the normal person is having a least effect on the blood glucose level. So lower the p value, lower the significant value, the results are more significant, that you can say. So by using this multiple comparison table, you can compare that which group is better and which mode of teaching is better as compared to other, if I'll take the yesterday's example. So fourth table, which is given by the software, is the test for homogeneity of variance. This value should be more than 0.05. Just remember, for all other variables significant value we are taking less than 0.05, but for test for Leibniz and test for homogeneity we are taking p value more than 0.05, and here we are getting a value 0.293. That means our data was found homogeneous and we are eligible to apply the ANOVA. That's why ANOVA table is given after the test for homogeneity only, and this is the ANOVA table which you are going to write in the research paper, and you are going to keep in your result part of the thesis. So the same, you can see that all the things which we have calculated manually is given in this table. That is uh, sum of squared between, you can see here, sum of squared between, sum of squared within, and sum of squared total. Degree of freedom we have calculated, and the mean sum of squared also we have calculated for between, within, and total. So all these things we are getting here. And see, this is the f value which will be calculated by the software. And if you want, you can compare by taking the this 2 and 147. You can take as a numerator and denominator, and you can see in the f distribution table that what is the value, and you can compare your f value with the value which is you are going to take from the table. And here you can see that we have got p value which is less than 0.05. It is 0.0000. So I will say this one, it is 0.001. So this p value represents what? This p value represents that our test was found significant, and we have rejected the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis was saying that all the three groups are similar, clear. And what we have justified that all the three groups, that is your these three groups I'm talking about, uh, these three, that the group 1 normal, group 2 overweight, and group 3 obese is not the similar. There is a difference in the mean of all the three groups. And how much is the mean difference? That you can take from the multiple comparison table, that the difference between the mean is given there. This is the mean difference. This you can quote in the thesis, and you can write that which group is having more blood glucose level as compared to other two. And you can also write that which is having the least blood glucose level as compared to other two. So how to write the results of ANOVA? So all the tables are very important. uh, for example, from the first table where we have shown the descriptive statistics, don't take all these things where they have written standard error, lower bound, upper bound, minimum, maximum. We are going to take just only capital N, that is the frequency and number. We are going to take mean, and we are going to take the standard deviation. Clear? So this is the writing style as per MLA Handbook 7th edition, that how to write the results of ANOVA. Uh, Directly, you cannot write that mean was found to be this much and the standard deviation was found to be this much. Uh, all the journal accepts the writing style as per MLA or as per the APA. MLA stand for Modern Language Association, and APA stand for American Psychological Association. So either you are going to follow MLA writing style, or either you are going to follow the APA writing style. Whatever I am showing to you, this is a MLA writing style. That according to MLA writing style, how to write the results of ANOVA. So how to write with the previous example? See what I have written. The mean of glucose for, I'm going to write name of both normal and overweight. Where about? First write mean. 5.3 is the mean, and in the bracket I'm going to write 1.4 standard deviation. Along with that, we have to write the units also, millimole per liter. So, and 5.4 in the bracket 1.3 millimole per liter. This is for the overweight. So if I have written normal first, so give the value of normal first. And if you have written overweight after the normal, so this in the same way respectively we have to write the values. Clear? And in the last you can write for the third group, and obese subject have mean this much. So the mean which you got the minimum number that you can write first, and which is having the middle value you can write second, and the group which is having the highest mean you can write in the last. Clear? So mean will be written outer side and standard deviation will be written in the bracket. No need to write the mean word or the SD sign. That mean or SD word you don't have to write. Just already you have written here that the mean of glucose. So no need to write mean and SD words particular with the digits. Here, so first line is representing the descriptive statistics of the first table. That whatever the data we have obtained from the first table, even you can mention the frequencies also, that how many person was there in each group. So with the normal only, you can write in the bracket here that what was the number of patients under the normal group and the overweight group and the obese group. So here only you can write in the bracket. So once you will write the descriptive statistics, you can proceed for the difference for the results of ANOVA. You can write the difference was found significant. This is the writing style for the ANOVA. Key in the bracket, F is the sign for ANOVA. You have to close the bracket. Degree of freedom, it should be written in italic. The icon or the sign for the DF should be written in italic, is equal to 2 and 147. So this 2 and 147 is the numerator and denominator which we have taken from the ANOVA table from here. This is the 2 and 147 I have taken from here, that is degree of freedom. Clear? So after writing 2 and 147, directly you can write 6.960 comma p value was found to be this much. So this is the writing style for the ANOVA. Clear? And also here you can indicate the results of post hoc test. You can write this indicate that there would be at least one significance difference from three possible comparison. Now you are going to compare the group normal with overweight, normal with obese, and overweight with obese. That means you have compared A with B, B with C, and C with A, like that. Clear? So in the example above, we used Sheffie's test. The test revealed that the actual difference was between normal and obese, and overweight was found to be how much. So whatever the p value which you have got in the post hoc table, that p value will be written here, which you are going to take from the post hoc table. So this is the writing style of ANOVA, that how you are going to write. So first paragraph is the descriptive statistics. Second is the writing style of ANOVA table, and third and fourth paragraph is representing to the multiple comparison table and the post hoc test. Here you can, I have not discussed, but yeah, while writing your results or your research paper, you can also uh, write, or you can also write about the test for homogeneity, that the p value for the test for homogeneity was found to be 0.234 whatever it is, and that the data was found homogeneous. And you can write the assumptions of the uh, ANOVA, that by which mean you have decided that you are going to proceed with the ANOVA. You can also discuss about test for the normality distribution, that you have applied the test for the normality distribution for glucose, which is the numerical variable and dependent variable, and data was found normal, and your independent variable is BMI, which is having a three different groups A, B, and C, like that. So if you have any queries related to ANOVA, you can call me. I will be happy to answer. So